Hello, my name's Misty and I'm from Makey Mamas, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of these crochet rattles. They've got a couple of bells inside, so they've got a nice jingly little sound. So it's a nice project for beginners. It requires only a couple of basic crochet stitches, and I'm going to talk you right through every part of it. So to make your crochet rattle, you're going to need 3 different colours of yarn. So this is a 4mm yarn I've got here. And so that's a colour for each of the 3 loops. So to go with my 4mm yarn, I've got a 3.5mm crochet hook here. So you can actually use any size of yarn, but you just have to make sure that you get a crochet hook that goes with it. So to stuff my crochet rattle, I've got some organic sheep's wool here, nice quality stuff. But you could also use offcuts of wool, offcuts of bits of felt or material, cotton wool if you need to, sort of anything just soft. I'm going to put a couple of 6mm bells inside as well to give it a nice little jangly sound. Nice sensory toy. You're going to need to have a decent pair of scissors hanging around, and also an embroidery needle as well with quite a big eye, and that's just for finishing off. So I'm going to start by showing you how to make one of these mini loops. So I've made 2 on here, and I'm going to make 2 today, but you can make any number of them. They don't necessarily need to be stuffed. These ones aren't, because it's sort of thick enough, but it's up to you. I'm going to start by showing you how to do a slip knot, which is how we get the wool onto the crochet hook. So I'm going to drape the wool over my left hand. I'm going to hold it in place with my thumb. I'm going to wrap it around my top 2 fingers. I'm going to cross it over there. I'm going to pull it through the back here. And that little loop there is what's going to go onto my crochet hook. And then I'm just going to let go and just pull tight, not too tight. So you've got about 1 centimetre loop on your hook. So now you've got your slip knot on your hook, so I'm going to show you how to hold the yarn correctly. Okay, so you've got your hook in your right hand, and this is the yarn that's coming from the ball. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this bit around my little pinky finger. I'm going to do it nice and slowly, wrap it around, just like so. And then I'm going to take my pointer finger, this finger here, and I'm going to put it underneath. So you should end up with something that looks like this. There are lots of different ways of holding your yarn, but this is how I've learned how to do it. Okay, so now you're holding your yarn correctly in your left hand. Going to start making our small crochet loop by chaining 4 stitches. Okay, so I'm using my middle finger and my thumb to hold the base of the slip stitch in place. This just makes it a little bit easier for me. Okay, so to make a chain, we're going to take our crochet hook and from front to back go underneath our yarn and slowly pull through our loop. So that's 1 chain. Going to do it again. So we're going to take our hook and from front to back go under the yarn and pull it through. So look how I pull it through. So I hold it nice and straight, and then as I get closer towards my loop I slowly turn, and that helps just to make it easier to pull it through. So that's 2. Can do another one. So from front to back I go under the yarn and slowly bring it towards my loop and pull through. 3. And final one, I'm going to go under from front to back and pull my yarn towards me and pull through. So now you've got your 4 chain stitches on your hook, and we're going to make a circle by doing a slip stitch into the first chain that you made So count 4 stitches back from your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to take the hook and we're going to put it into the first stitch that you made. And I'm going to just hold my little tail out of the way, and then we're going to make a slip stitch. Okay, so to do a slip stitch, we move the hook underneath the yarn and pull through the first loop, and then we pull through the second loop. So now we're going to use a stitch called a double crochet, and we're going to double crochet into each of the 4 chain stitches that you've made. Now the only tricky part about this whole project, certainly for the beginning, is making sure that you know where your 4 chain stitches are. It can sometimes be easier, rather than counting from the beginning on this side, to actually count from the end and count back from your hook. So there's 1 there, 2, 3, 4. So this little one over here isn't actually a stitch. Okay, so I'm now going to show you how to double crochet into your chains. So I'm going to take my hook, I'm going to put it into the front, and so you should have 2 loops on your hook. Then I'm going to yarn over, which involves putting my hook underneath my yarn and pulling through a loop. So I do this nice and steady, nice and slowly. Pull through just one of my loops, give myself a bit of slack, and then I'm going to yarn over again. Go underneath, pull down, and then bring that through both my loops, and that's 1 double crochet. So let's do our second double crochet into our second chain. So I'm going in front to back, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 1 and yarn over and pull through 2. So that's our second double crochet into our second chain. Then I'm going to go through again, front to back. I'm going to yarn over, I put my hook underneath my yarn and slowly pulling through a loop. Through 1, and then yarn over again. There we go. That's my third double crochet, and that's gone into my third chain stitch. Okay, and I'm going to do my 4th double crochet into my 4th chain stitch. I'm going to go in front to back, so I end up with 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through again. So we've gone around once doing our double crochets into our chain stitches, and now to complete the rest of the mini loop on our rattle, you just keep going, doing double chains into every stitch all the way around until you've got about 10 centimeters worth of length. It can be more though, or even a bit less if you like. So I double crocheted round and round and round, and now I've got about 10, 11 centimeters or so worth of length here. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to finish off, and we're going to do that by doing a slip stitch. So I'm going to put my hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 1 and pull through the second. Then I'm going to take my scissors, snip some length, and just pull that through there, just to tie a knot. So I've got my finished length of tube here. So now I'm just going to put this to one side whilst I work on a second mini loop. So now we're going to start making our big loop, and I'm going to begin by doing a slip knot and securing it onto my crochet hook. If you're not sure how to do that, then refer to the beginning of the video where I refer to it step by step. And now I'm going to chain 10 stitches. 1, 2, 8, 3, 9, and 10. So that's my 10 chain stitches, and I'm going to join them to form a loop by doing a slip stitch into my first chain, which is this one here. I'm going to put the hook in, yarn over, pull through one loop, and then pull through the second. So now we've got our 10 chain stitches formed into a loop. I'm going to double crochet into each of the 10 chain stitches, and I'm going to do that and go round and round and round until I have the desired length to make my big loop for my crochet toy. Okay, so this is my first double. If you don't know how to do a double, then refer to the beginning of the video tutorial when I go through it step by step. Just going to go through a few here. In, yarn over, and pull through. In, yarn over, and pull through. In the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through. Okay, so I've now got about 3 inches worth of my loop, and this is the point at which I'm going to start to stuff it. If it gets too long, it'll make it awkward to put the stuffing into. So I have some organic sheep's wool which I'm going to stuff it with, but as I said at the beginning of the video, you can use anything soft really, so you could use old bits of wool, some cotton wool, you could even use synthetic stuffing if you wanted it to. So nothing too complicated about this. I'm just going to put a little bit in the end there. So I've added a couple of more inches now, and I'm going to put one of my little bells inside now. I have 2 altogether, and I'm going to place them just throughout the length. So that's going to go in. Okay, and then I'm going to continue just adding length to my loop till it's about 9 inches or so. It's really up to you how long you make this length. So I'm going to finish off my long tube by doing a slip stitch. So I'm going to go into my next stitch, yarn over, and pull through. Then I'm going to snip. I'm going to leave quite a long length because I can sew the loop together using this length. Snip it down here, and then I'm just going to pull through a length just to tighten a knot there. Okay, so what I have now is one long length and my 2 shorter ones. So I'm going to, using this long length here, I'm going to sew this together all around here, and I'm going to do that using my embroidery needle. So I'm just going to place them together so they match up, and I'm just going to go in and come out the other side. There's no particular technique to doing this, I'm just going to go in and out. So now I'm just going to do a double knot affair just to finish off. And then I'm going to weave my needle just in here, pull it out somewhere over here, and I'm going to snip it off over here. So now I just need to do the same thing to these 2, but the key thing here is that I'm going to sew the ends together around my big loop. So here we have our final crochet rattle toy. Hope you've enjoyed making it.